Hi everybody, so I'm Chris, I'm the principal here, best job ever. My job is not to hard sell you this place, but I just really like it. So I might be a little bit too passionate, also why I tend to talk too much, but I'm going to race through this. My job now is to spend 25 minutes trying to explain to you sort of in a nutshell how we roll here, what our curriculum is, what our overall vision, ethos and commitment is to education and to the creative sector, because that's our job. We're educators and we're twinned into the creative sector, so that's a little bit different to your average school, so I need to try and make that clear. There are some ways in which we are the same as any other school. High expectations, behaviour codes of conduct, you know, there are lots of ways in which we are an institution like any other. There are some ways though in our fundamental design, the curriculum, and also some of our pedagogical approach being vocational and relational, where this school is going to feel very different to a lot of normal schools, okay? So I want to try and get that right as well. Just so you know, we're three things here. This is the one that's going to be of major interest to you, and most of what I talk about is going to be this, which is going to be our academy, which is 14 to 18, year 10, 11, 12 and 13, what the curriculum is, what we produce, what kind of qualifications we get, and so forth. We have now launched Screencraft. It was always the aim to do this. So 5 years ago, we launched a UK Centre of Screen Excellence with Screen Skills UK. And this is for 18 to 19-year-olds. And it's designed to be a bridging into industry set of qualifications, traineeships, apprenticeships, designed to help young people who maybe don't want to go to university. There's a lot of generic media production courses out there that might not actually be as technically specific as the industry needs, and so we've tried to create something that is a shortcut to industry, also free, 1 year long, equivalent to a foundation degree. So I'll say something about that just in case you were thinking of a 4-year. If you're in year 9, you might have been thinking 4 years here. If you're in year 11 currently, you might be thinking the next 2 years, but actually both of you might want to think about an additional year if it's right for you. ESA Productions is pretty innovative. I'll say more about it when we get there, but we've set up our own production company here that's making real intellectual property content for paying clients, and we crew that work out of our student trainee population. So we train them up, and then we give them opportunities to work on real production with real talent for real credits. And it's part of how we give them that kind of crowbar in the door of industry experience. So when we get to ESA Productions, I'll say a bit more about that. So let me start with this. Okay, it's not like that here every day. No over-promising, under-delivering. That is obviously to try and capture something of the vibe of how we really go. But everything you saw there is a production that's been made here using our trainees. The vibe is true. but students will need to sign up to opportunities to take part in those sorts of shoots and productions and all of that kind of cool extracurricular stuff that we do around our curriculum. What I want to talk about now a little bit is our curriculum. You are on hallowed ground right now. Before this was ESA, this was MGM British Studios, where Clockwork Orange and Space Odyssey was made. Kubrick made some of his films here, where Eagles Dare and others also made here. So our students are part of a heritage in this area. The reason we were set up in 2013 is because this little slice of Hertfordshire, and a little bit of Buckinghamshire, if you go over to Pinewood in Bucks and then come in this direction around the M25, you'll get Sky Studios Elstree, Warner Brothers Leavesden, you get Fairbank Studios, Elstree Studios and Pinewood. Between those studios, there are more sound stages here in Hertfordshire and Buckinghamshire than there are in Hollywood, would you believe it? So actually the amount of content being created here across film and TV means that there are an awful lot of skilled, technical, creative jobs available, and they were growing back in 2010. That industry was growing faster than we were growing the skills necessary to crew and operate that industry. So the idea was to open a university technical college here for 14 to 19 to develop those skills. So what we've got here is a pretty unique curriculum, and this is the main way in which we are not like other schools. We have a level of understanding and insight into the creative sector that most other schools have an equivalent level to medicine, to health futures, to engineering, construction. Most schools have to keep a real breadth curriculum that means they're able to talk across all of the different things all of their 1,000 kids might go on to become. And to some extent we do too, but we recognise that if you're coming to us because your heart beats to the drum of all things entertainment, culture, creative arts, film, television, theatre, games, screen arts. If that's true, what we try and do is make sure that our curriculum is able to be a little bit more specific. To quote Harrison from Sky, we're able to try and get you a little bit more targeted towards how our industry works, which is complicated because it is a cottage industry of freelance crafts, trades and technical disciplines. So saying you want to work in film and TV isn't really enough. You kind of need to know which pipeline or sector within film, TV and theatre you want to work in. So if you want to look at the bottom line there, destinations, that's sort of where to start. Look at the destinations and work back. So if you look, this is on the website, by the way. If you just click on info and then go to curriculum, you'll find all of this on the website. I know it's a bit small if you're in the back row there. But if you start at the bottom and you're like, I just love the lighting, then you can start looking up and saying, oh, okay, rigging, camera and grip tech, come up here into the creative and technical media or photography, camera organisation, go up to the top, problem solving, maths, photography. So it gives you a kind of idea of what the subjects are that you're wanting to choose. If you're currently in year 9, you will take subjects, if not in all the pipelines, certainly in probably 3 of them, because the curriculum is still broad. You're still figuring out whether you're kind of an aesthetic arts designer or whether you're really technical and you want to get your hands on the kit, or whether you're more of a crafts and trades person. You'll be figuring it out. As you then go into post 16, it starts to sharpen up as you pick your options. Hopefully with a view that by the time you get to post 18 or start going out into either university, apprenticeship, specific training courses or employment, you should really know what you're blinking good at. Okay, it is quite a segmented industry. You don't tend to find that the people who work on light don't tend to also work on sound. There's real specialisation within the industry. So you do want to make sure. That doesn't mean you can't help each other out, but you really do need to know where you are the authority on your skill or your trade. So if you keep that in mind while we go on to this one, if you're currently in year 9, you're looking here. If you're currently in year 11, you're looking here. And if you're currently in year 13, then you're looking here. And what you'll see is these are essentially our blocks. So if you're in year 9 and you're coming to us in year 10, the national curriculum still applies to you for another 2 years. So compulsorily you will take English and English literature, maths, science, and you'll do statutory PE and PSHE. Those are requirements of the national curriculum. That's not the only reason we teach them. They're also, we call them our fundamentals. You'll never write a good script if you're not reading great literature. You'll never design great stages if you haven't understood the basics of engineering and mathematical problem solving. So we go hard after core here. You'll do 5 hours of English, 5 hours of maths and 5 hours of science every week. Okay, so 15 hours of your curriculum will be those creative fundamentals. This is where we're different. Most schools are measured according to something called Progress 8. Progress 8 is the national performance indicator for schools. That should sound fine. What they basically do is every student's taking normally somewhere between 8 and 11 or 8 and 12 GCSEs, depending on the curriculum model. So what they do is they count your best 8, and they divide that by the number of GCSEs you took, and they get an average score, what you get for studies. What's not fair about Progress 8 is that the calculator they use counts certain subjects more favourably than others. So history, geography and modern foreign languages, and I should say now my dad's a social historian and my mum is a French teacher, so they're very upset that we don't teach either modern foreign languages or history at this school. But plenty of schools do teach those, so if you want to go and become a humanitarian, work in government and politics or be or languages, brilliant, we love you, the world needs you, just we don't teach it. So what we do here is, because we don't teach those, you are given zeros in those subjects in your Progress 8 calculator. So if you are going to look at our school in league tables, we are necessarily in the bottom third, okay? I'm very pleased about that. You're not comparing us to like for like if you're looking at school league tables, because we don't offer a Progress 8 compliant curriculum by design. Okay. If you want to compare our English results to other schools' English results, please do that, and you'll see that we're above national average and competing very well in those core fundamental subjects, because we put a lot of time and effort into them and we employ good staff. So as long as you're comparing like for like, we do very well here, and this is one of 2 opportunities I've got to tell you that we're Ofsted outstanding in every category, so things are going well, okay? So we are really good, but don't go by league tables because we play a slightly different game. What it means for you in year 9 is if you stay in a mainstream school or a traditional school, they're going to lean on you pretty hard to take either history or geography, probably a technical and a modern foreign language. So that in most schools, by the time you get to the creative suite of subjects, you're choosing between music, art and dance. Here you can do music, art and dance. That's the difference, okay? Because all of your option subjects are arts-based creative specialist subjects, okay? So if your heart does beat to that drum of creative arts, you get more of it here. So you pick, these are compulsory, you pick one of these are huge vocational qualifications worth 4 GCSEs, and then you pick 2 of these. If you're coming in year 12, the national curriculum has finished for you at 16, so you don't have that problem. You only have restrictions on your curriculum if you failed English or maths, because you have to keep retaking English and maths until you get a level 2 pass or equivalent. Okay? I'll say a bit more about that when we get to entry criteria. Most people come to us to do one of these. This is the mainstay curriculum. These are big vocational courses. You'll do 15 hours a week in class on these courses, and they're equivalent to 3.25 A-levels. So they're big, chunky courses. These are individual A-levels, and each one is worth 1, and each one is 5 hours a week. So you do 3 of these, equivalent to 1 of these. Okay? If you want to pick A-levels, those are the options. There's less of them because of our specialism. If you are a literal creative genius, and we have some of those here, and you got 7s, 8s and 9s across the board, and you're really a polymath, you could take one of these and one of these. But the entry requirement for that is quite high, because that's 4.25 A-levels. That's a freaky level of work. Okay. And then post-18, I'll come to in a minute, but this is our screencraft, and you'll see that, and I promise you, we're nearly there. Quick shout out for T-levels. T-levels are brand new. They're equivalent to 3 A-levels, and it's 1 course. We offer 2 T-levels, two T-levels here, but they are brand new qualifications, and they're really, really cool qualifications. We offer 1 in Creative Media Technician, which is all of the kit, technical, creative expertise for studio work, so lighting, sound, production in studios. Highly technical, things like broadcast engineering. Events and Venues Technician is live events, so that's rock concerts, festivals, theatre, national conferences, that sort of thing. And again, it's light, it's sound, it's technical installation, but it's on location or at events, whereas this is in studios. They're very, very technical, but 45 days of that qualification is placements working for industry. So it's designed to kind of feed apprenticeships or feed that kind of production-based vocational applied education. But if you are a hands-on learner and you love techie kit, these are banging courses. Diving on quickly, these are entry requirements. If you're in year 9, there are no entry requirements. We're an entirely inclusive school. There is an admissions code, which means so many people apply that there is some lottery within certain geographical boundaries of the school. So if you want to understand that, it's on our website, or speak to some of my colleagues in reception about it. But you're entitled to apply, and you're entitled to a place. If you're coming into year 12, there is criteria, because you do need to have passed level 2, which is Key Stage 4. We don't teach level 2s here at post 16. So all of our qualifications are level 3. So we require that you have the national benchmark for having passed GCSEs. So if you are in year 11 right now, good luck. It's a horribly pressurising year. Our year 11s are feeling it too, and good luck to you, and love and encouragement in your direction. What you need to try and get is a minimum of 5 GCSEs grade 4 or above. That's called the basic pass. And then we ask you to have a 6 or above in the subject that feeds into what you want to study here. So if you really want to do media and camera operation, we'd be looking for either English or maybe one of the arts like photography or something like that, being at a 6 or above to show that you're really going to fly on that course. This isn't about trying to be selective, it's about not setting people up to fail. So if you, let's say, only get 4, but for art, you've got a 7, we'll figure that out, right? So I'm not saying like this is some sort of hard and fast rule, but what it is designed to do is make sure that if you do need a level 2 catch-up year, you go and get that, and then you come back to us. Because honestly, we go hard after vocational and technical education. It is demanding, and if you haven't managed to pass your level 2s, you might need to do that before you come to us. Otherwise, we'll just set you up to have a really difficult time. These are crucial. We don't set limits at 100% or 95% or something like that. But in our industry, if you're not relied upon to be on time and to turn up, you'll never work. It's a sound stage at Sky Studios Elstree is costing the production company about 20k a day, okay? Because by the time they've rented the studio, they've then got to put the lights in it, put the crew in it, put the sound in it. It's really, really expensive to make high-end production. If people then don't turn up or turn up late, they're literally burning money. So they get really, like attendance and punctuality is a massive issue for us. So we do look at it. And if you've had real problems in your attendance, that is something we need to understand and sort out, because it won't fly here or in your creative futures. And once you apply, there's an admissions process, and that means we meet you, and you'll have an admissions meeting, and at that meeting, if you're coming in to do one of those art subjects at the bottom, we ask for evidence of your portfolio, or to take a look at some self-tapes if you're coming in to do something like dance or singing or something like that. All quite normal for creative sixth forms. So I mentioned Screencraft. I don't know that there's many of you here for this now, so I'll be really quick. But this is our post-18 provision, and it is intensely industry linked. So you do 6 weeks with us, and then you do 4 weeks in industry. You come back and you do another 6 weeks, and you go back into industry for 4 weeks. So it's intensely industrial ready. That's the point of it. And it's to get you out into working. You'll see some of the placement providers that we work with in a moment. And those are the pathways you can do at post-18. So when you're a school leaver, if you decide that this isn't the place for you to come and do your sixth form, but you really love what we're about and you'd like to come back in 2 years and do a bridging year into industry, this might be of interest to you. These are our partners. Some of these you will have heard of. They're household names. Everyone knows BBC, everyone knows Sky and Elstree Studios. Some of them, like Lifecast or Angels, you might not have heard of. Lifecast basically are the company in the UK that just make all the dead bodies for film and television. It's the most incredible organisation. They've like got shelves in warehouses of all these corpses, and basically they're a 3D body scanning production company that then make they make bodies, and they have to be dressed, and so it's a huge art department based right here in Hertfordshire. Really wonderful. They also make training dummies for the medical profession as well, because of the quality of the mannequins that they create. Angels have got over 40 Oscars in a career of over 100 years. You name a film, they probably are the costumier for that film. These are some of the people we work with where our students get placement opportunities if they stay with us into year 14. And even before year 14, these are some of the productions that you saw that we were making them for organisations like Mobo. I don't know if Apples and Snakes is on here, is it? But Apples and Snakes, Hertfordshire Police and others who hire us to make content for them. So let me quickly end by showing you, this is the slide I get most nervous about, because it sounds like I'm saying, if you come here, this is what you get to work at. I'm not saying that. But these are all of our students that have worked on those productions. So what I'm not saying is you get an opportunity to work on those productions. It's highly competitive, this industry. But what this is designed to show you is we've been doing this now 12 years, 13 years. And we've got really good at recognising how we link the right people to the right productions. And if you come to us with the right attitude, the right work ethic, you go hard, and we've got the kit and the skills and the competencies, we can make magic happen, and indeed on many occasions we have. There are a few further stories. I've probably run out of time, but you can see Sheena worked on Witcher Season 2. Seb, National Geographic for Disney. He's a professional drone photographer. His show reel's in the bottom right there, so you can see the kind of stuff he does. Aaron is a model maker and does set and prop design model making, has worked on some of these productions. And then here you've got a YouTube influencer with something like 8 million subscribers. And then these guys are all in stage management or lighting design in theatres or live events. So again, I'm not saying it works for everybody, but the chances here, you can see some of the alumni we're getting here show you we're up to something, and when it works, it really works. I'm going to skip that as well. If you want to see the kinds of vibe, actually our socials are an even better place than our website. So by all means, look us up at Elstree Screen Arts at those various places. If you do decide you want to apply, you go to our website. The button in the top right-hand corner literally says apply. You click that, and then you make an expression of interest into either year 10, year 12, or year 14. Okay. After that, the admissions team will take over and tell you what you need and when you need it. I don't believe in, we're really up to something. This is my second opportunity to tell you we're outstanding. We're really up to something. For the best part of 10 years, we've been trying to persuade everyone that we're up to something. And last year, Ofsted came along and said we were up to something outstanding in every category. So we know that we are doing something great here. That doesn't mean we're a perfect school. They don't exist. It also doesn't mean that it's a perfect fit for every kid. You also need to know that this is the right move for you, and that will be a number of things: location, current social grouping, how settled you are in your current environment. We have multiple points of entry, so if it's not right now, it might be right in the future. But if it is right, and you know this is you, it can really produce magic. We're seeing that, and I'm confident of it. Like every school, we've got amazing teachers, and we've got developing teachers. We've got incredible students, and we've got students where we're supporting them to become slightly better than they might otherwise be. We are a place that is real and in relationship with each other. So I'm not trying to tell you that this is the best kind of schooling. What I will tell you is it's the school I should have gone to had it existed when I was a kid, which is why I'm really passionate about the place. So please ask everyone anything tonight, staff and students. No one will fib. Everyone will tell you how we roll here. Get a vibe of the place. Really scrutinise the department, speak to the staff. I hope you have a really great evening. If you have got questions, my senior leadership team are hanging out in reception. I'll be here. If anyone wants to stay till 8 o'clock, I'll talk forever about the place. Happy to answer your questions, but I've got to do a few more of these. So if you've got questions in the meantime, my Senko's over in the other building and my senior leadership team is in reception. Thank you massively for your time. Have a great evening.